first topic of the conversation, like I mentioned, Coach Saban, mid-season form on Thursday during his first presser after the first practice of fall camp. And one of the biggest things he mentioned, he talked about a lot of things, but the biggest thing he mentioned was his offensive line. He said it straight up. We got to be better on the offensive line. We got to play better. We got to be more consistent. We got to be stronger. We got to impose our will. We got to be more dominant. We got to be able to play like grown men possessed out here on the offensive line. That side of the football, or that position, has to be better. And Saban pleased with the additions that Alabama has made to help the run game and to help the offensive line, that being Tyler Steen and here from Vanderbilt, that being Jahmyr Gibbs being added as a running back to help with that explosiveness. He's happy to have the pieces that have been added in, and also Miles Kitselman transfer from Hutchinson Community College at tight end. But Coach Saban wants more dominance, more toughness, more physicality, and leadership coming from the offensive line. He wants guys, at least one guy or a group of guys, that's not going to take or not going to accept others not playing to the standard that this program wants to play to and needs to play to in order to be champions. So Coach Saban and offensive line coach Eric Wolford trying to get this offensive line. They're challenging this group to be more physical, to be more dominant, to be tougher, to impose its will, and to set the tone in fall camp and to set the tone in the 2022 college football season. And what's intriguing is, this is an offensive line that, yes, was young last season, and then look back at last season, and they want to correct some things. They want to rectify some things. As you see here on screen, here are some of the notable struggles that Alabama had up front a season ago. You discuss 41 sacks allowed by this offensive line. 41 sacks, including 39 of Bryce Young. You remember the 2020 offensive line? They gave up just 13 sacks of Mac Jones. The 2021 group gave up 39 of Bryce Young. Also, there was a lot of inconsistency in the run game a season ago. Alabama just couldn't line up and run the football the way that it wanted to and the way that it's used to or accustomed to doing. Now, there were some moments where Brian Robinson broke loose and had some big games, absolutely, but it just didn't have the feel of Alabama could just line up and run the ball down your neck, down your throat, whenever it wanted to, and there was nothing you could do to stop it as the opposition. Alabama did not have that level of consistency a season ago. Also, you got to look at, there was a lot of inconsistent play at the center and right tackle position. Both of those spots were kind of a revolving door last year. Center started off with Darian Dalcourt. Chris Owens got a crack at it a little bit. And then toward the end, the Iron Bowl, second half of the Iron Bowl, last game of the regular season against Auburn, Alabama finally got it right with going with Seth McLaughlin at that spot. And then you look at the right tackle position, that was a revolving door. It started off with Chris Owens, but then Kendall Randolph got a shot at it. That didn't work. Damian George got a shot at it. That didn't work. And then it just ended up back on Chris Owens because there was nothing else Alabama could do at the time. So that was a bit of an issue. And then, there was a lack of physicality and just sheer dominance a season ago. There were moments where Alabama's offensive line was just simply getting outmanned, outworked, getting blown off the ball. There was no pride taken with the offensive line just a season ago. So these are things that Coach Wolford and the guys back want to rectify and to clean up and to improve on, showing that, hey, we are much better than that showing. And Emil Ekiyor Jr. spoke today, starting offensive guard for Alabama in his final season with the Crimson Tide. And the main thing he spoke about was there's a participation trophy in the cafeteria on campus in the players' facility. There's a participation trophy from the college football playoff. Yes, you made the playoff, you were the runner-up, you participated, you got there, but you didn't win. And Ekiyor said, the players look at that trophy, and there is so much hunger stirred in them. as they look at that trophy because they know we're not just trying to participate in the playoff or get in there. We want to win the thing. We want to take home the CFP trophy as national champions of college football. And, Ekiyor mentioned, hey, we haven't turned the page from that Georgia game in the national championship. That game is still in our mind. We still think about that. We're still hurt about that. We're still bothered about that. That game is a motivating factor because we know we could have played better. By we, Alabama, could have played better, could have executed better, could have done better. So Ekiyor speaking his mind as a leader of this group up front, not just trying to be in the playoff, but win the playoff. The challenge goes to the offensive line first, setting that tone. And offensive line has got to be consistent every single week, every single game, especially starting off here in fall camp. I know Bama's trying to mix and match and find the best five to put on the field, whatever it comes up with as the best five, whether it has Steen at left tackle, Javion Cohen left guard, Seth McLaughlin center, right guard Ekiyor, right tackle J.C. Latham, or whatever the five is. Whoever the five end up being in the mix and the matching here, this group of five got to be nasty this season because the national championship starts with a tone-setting, physical, dominant offensive line. Going back to the 2020 year, that set the tone. The 2012 year, another offensive line that people relished with Barrett Jones and Chance Warmack and those guys. They set a physical tone every single week, starting off in fall practice. So Coach Wolford, Emil Ekiyor, the rest of this group, it starts with them and trying to get that national championship mentality in here. But another thing here would be, has Alabama, has the Crimson Tide, sort of found its two anchors here at both tackle positions? Because that's a big deal. A lot of people have been discussing this all offseason. You lost Evan Neal to the NFL draft as a first-round pick. Chris Owens, serviceable, good guy, good dude, but gone also. You're replacing both tackles. Does Alabama have its anchors at both tackle spots? It looks like they may have them. It looks like they've got them. When you discuss Tyler Steen coming over from Vanderbilt, 6'5", 315 pounds. Ekiyor talked about it today. Steen has come in here. He has worked extremely hard. He has picked up the playbook in the system rather quickly. He kind of knows what to do. Coming as a player that coming from one SEC school to the other. I get it, the SEC school is Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt does produce talent. It's just the culture at that program, definitely not where it needs to be at, but Steen has ability and capability. Now, when I brought up J.C. Latham to Ekiyor, his eyes lit up. He said, that's my guy. That's my dog. That's my dude. We've been working out all offseason long in the weight room. We've been lifting. We've been grinding. We've been watching film. We've been studying. We've been taking no days off. Team no sleep, Ekiyor saying, in terms of he and J.C. Latham. And he said J.C. is about to have a really big year. Keep in mind, Latham came in 5-star 2021 class. Our own Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, said that he was the most college-ready offensive lineman of the haul of players Bama brought in that 21 bunch there. So it's Latham's time. Latham's moment to go out there, be special, be legit here, be dominant. So looking forward to seeing what Latham does, looking forward to seeing what Tyler Steen does, looking forward to seeing what this whole offensive line does, because Nick Saban's challenging them now. He's challenged them. Got to be tougher, got to be physical, got to be dominant, got to be consistent, got to play better. Saban is putting this on the offensive line, and they've got to answer the bell with fall camp going into the upcoming season.